Rizwan Rashid. Assalamu alaikum. Your host Rizwan Rashid is here with another story of an immigrant. London Living with Rizwan Rashid is here tonight with another immigrant. I know we are all mesmerized with the immigrant, and luckily we are in that part of the world where multinationalism, multiculturalism is so much, blooming all over the place, and where people from all races, cultures, and religions being accepted with full heart. Yes, I can say that in the south of the border, it's not the same case, but we were talking about here in Canada. And while me and an immigrant, and you have seen a couple of stories from South Asian community and others, and today I wanted to bring in somebody special, somebody who I know him, her as that immigrant of the year. I can give the award to her because not only she came from that part of the world where she was booming and they had a great future in this, but she took that courage along with her family, moving to the new world. And well, she was very young at that age, but she was able to rejuvenate, to become really part of the culture, and she evolved to become the entrepreneur. A real true success story. You're going to love it because what we are going to share with you today is the story of a girl who immigrated with the family, and then she not only evolved herself, learned the new skill, adopt the new weather, understand the new culture, and then evolved to become a better person, not for herself but for a lot many others. Please help me welcome LizyT.
Thank you so much, Rizwan. Didn't he do an awesome job, guys? I feel like he's talking to somebody else about somebody else. It cannot be me. He's amazing, and I honor you for this amazing introduction, and I appreciate it. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Liz. You are an amazing person, and I love your enthusiasm, energy. You are all over social media. You hold everybody there, and your presence is really noticeable, which is part of your success in this. And we'll ask you a lot of questions. So, folks, just before I really, Liz will tell all about herself, but I want to tell you, she was born in Chile,
Hmm.
raised in Brazil, and then ended up in Canada. I know she speaks Portuguese, she speaks Spanish, English, and she speaks French. And I think she's off camera. She's talking about looking to Mandarin would be her next one. I don't know. I can't speak that many language. My English is still like flunky right now. But we'll still with that too. So, Lizzy, right off the bat, I'm going to ask you
Hmm.
some questions about what we have asked all of our immigrants. What was the
Hmm.
story behind for you moving from Brazil to Canada?
What's the story about moving? Period. Good question, Rizwan. You're awesome. My father was a nomad, a gypsy, I don't know what, but he always felt like where he was, the grass was always greener on the other side. So being born in Chile, I think I must have moved at least 5 times. So that kind of grows with you or not, because you can't really make friends anywhere because there it goes, your dad wants to move. So born in Chile, we moved in about four cities at least. And then, well, like I said earlier, the grass is always greener on this other side. Brazil was the place. In Brazil, we lived in about 3 cities. And the latest city that we were, it was close to Rio, about 3 hours from Rio. Beautiful weather. Like, I mean, it's like what you see on TV, paradise. And then, well, we ended up in all places, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Oh my.
And yes,
Saskatchewan, Regina. What a
yeah.
weather difference, eh?
My goodness, you have no idea because we were in plus 30 when we left in April. I remember like it was yesterday. And all of a sudden, we came in April and it was like plus 10. I was freezing. I remember my uncle picking us up from the airport, and we were driving through downtown. It was Sunday. There was nobody in the street. So I'm looking at my uncle and I'm saying, okay, is this a ghost town or something? Because it's Sunday. Oh, no, he said it's about 8 o'clock. Everybody's at home. Nothing is open. Now, Brazil, kind of like a city that never sleep. You've never seen that. So it was a
Mhm.
big culture shock right from the beginning, right from the day that we were picked up at the airport.
So as a not, I wouldn't say child, right? You're in the teens and you're adapting it. Was it hard for you to move to leave all your old friends, schools, and then start
Absolutely.
over?
Absolutely. I was dating. So I had a boyfriend. I was 17. And for me to leave my friends, my boyfriend, and come to a country that you don't only speak the language, culture is completely different. Also, it's easy to kind of pick up the French because they're all part of Latin languages, or even the Portuguese, because again, the similarities. But English is completely different. I felt like I was speaking backwards.
Uh,
So obviously, huge language culture shock. But I had always in the beginning, I've arrived in a place and I wanted to be able to immerse. When I went to Brazil, I've immersed in the culture. I've learned Portuguese like a native speaking person. As a matter of fact, to this day, some of my friends are Brazilian, and when I meet somebody from Brazil, they always ask me, "Are you Brazilian?" And I said, "No, but you speak fluently, just like the locals." And I'm like, "Yes." So I made it my goal to be able to learn English like a local, and it was harder than I thought it would be. It was definitely difficult. However, when you have something in your mind, when you put yourself in a situation that, rain or shine, whatever it takes, I'm going to master this, then I guess the sky is the limit. You can accomplish anything you want. And I used to watch TV, listen to people talk, imitate the way they move their mouth. And well, my best friend, which later on is my husband, he definitely helped out with some things because he found it a little cute, a lot cute, for me to speak with an accent. So I said, no, 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 correct me.
this is amazing, folks. And the reason I'm sharing with you that everyone comes with the challenge, everyone comes with the struggle, but this is the one who actually survive, and from survive to goes to into thrive more. Liz, that was awesome. So if I may ask you, change of weather, change of culture, change of total shock, leaving all the families and adapting to new weather, new language, new social. What would be the hardest struggle in your opinion?
Yes. Well, obviously, is the weather, especially it being in Saskatchewan. We were there for about 5 years. I remember one of my first job was to work for the university. I translated some of their documents from either English to Spanish or Portuguese to Spanish. So I had to deliver a document that I just had translated from English to Portuguese, something
Mhm.
like that. And at the time I was 18, 19. I didn't have a driver's license yet. So I had to take the bus. Now,
Mhm.
Regina is not the same transit system that we have here in Toronto. So buses only come every half an hour.
Yeah.
And it was January or February, one of those horrible months. Snow, storm, freezing. Um, it was it felt like minus 100, but probably minus 40 because in Regina is a lot colder than it here in Ontario.
Mhm.
And when I got to the university, I noticed that my ears were burning like I've put it on fire. And when I looked at the mirror, boils on the lobe of my ear, both of them. So basically, I literally, and my hands, the tip of my finger, there were boils, and the tip of my toes. And I did have some, what I thought, okay, boots. So definitely the weather, it was the most challenging. Now, you picture yourself being on the beautiful beach, plus 30, with the perfect weather, the perfect, nice, warm water, to a place that is minus 40 with the wind chill, and you're fingertips and your earlobes with boils like you were burned. It was
Oh,
not fun.
wow, wow. Yeah, this is and especially in Saskatchewan, the weather, especially in winter, goes in like whole different trajectory. Which I think in Ontario, especially in Toronto GTA area, you can't even imagine how bad it can go. Uh, Liz, one of the thing I wanted to ask you, and I know you have met a number of people when you moved here, when you started a new life, new career, new education here. And I know you already mentioned your best friend become your husband. Who was the first one who you really can think back, who
Mhm.
supported you, welcomed you, gave you that identity, gave you that first resource to
Mhm.
start your life?
Good question, Rizwan. And I love to mention, everybody, especially family members, especially, my best friend, which is my husband from almost there 27 years. But as I will go against what I believe is just my faith. I believe in God, and I think that God is always looked up to us, over us, our family, and myself. So, prayer for me is number one. Being close to God is number one. And I know that every time I ask for something or ask for a sign, things comes up, and having, God in my life, and having that it really, really shows it. It makes a huge difference when you put your faith. And then number two, obviously, is my best friend, which is my husband, which is my biggest supporter, number one of the LizyT Show. He does all the lighting here in the studio. He makes sure that I have all the right connections. To this day, he, wants to make sure that I succeed. I would say, he
He's the
sees me
one.
being bigger than Oprah. So I always say, just calm down, take down. This is my hobby and my job, but I don't take it as serious. I think he takes it a lot serious than I do.
Awesome, awesome. God bless you. You just made me feel so good about it because whenever we ask this question, typically we think about the physical term of somebody,
Mhm.
somebody who I know, somebody what they did. But you just took us to a new spiritual level that you're talking about God, and God
Mhm.
is everywhere. When you believe in the God, we are the creators, creatures
Mhm.
of the God, and
Yes,
God is
right.
here to help and support us in all shapes and forms. I'm into that, and I totally agree with that. But folks, why I'm asking this question, and what is in for you? I'm
Mhm.
asking her what made her change the life. So it was a family move. So she might not have much to say, but what she did is this is where they make the difference. Life doesn't happen to you. You
Mhm.
make it happen. That's
Mhm.
what she changed her life trajectory. That's what she learned to how to speak English. This is how to you involve in the culture. This is she still remember who was the first person who helped her. She still remember what was the most struggle part of it.
Mhm.
Why? Because an immigrant, we have to look back what
Mhm.
struggles we did, and now what are the benefits out of it. Canada, it is an amazing country, and I love it because this is one of the countries to me has given a new identity, new identification to me, because I came as an immigrant just like you, and I find such a value to become an immigrant. So this is
Mhm.
where the past came in. Now, Liz moved out of Saskatchewan and now in Toronto. And now we want to talk about what is Liz is doing, because Liz is doing amazing. But we're going to take a short break and we're going to come back. We're going to ask her all about what she's doing. Stay tuned. Keep watching London Living with Rizwan Rashid. We'll be right back, and my guest Liz is here. Welcome back to London Living with Rizwan, your host Rizwan Rashid, and my guest Liz. Liz is an immigrant born in Chile, grew up in Brazil, ended up in Canada. As you talk about, she was moved to Saskatchewan for the first few years and now living in Toronto. She
Mhm.
really learned from her early days in Canada and adapted to new culture, new weather, learned new skills, new languages, and now is an entrepreneur. And what it is she's doing, let me ask Liz. Liz, you've been all over the social media. You seems to be control all the social media, because every time I go there, there's something about new and exciting happening with you. So tell us,
Mm-hmm.
our audience, what do you do?
Good question, Rizwan. Actually, the theme of the show is tell us what you do, who you are, what you do, contact info, anything new. That is the theme of the LizyT Show. And I have to, by the way, that logo or that slogan is not mine, it's my husband. And the LizyT, people used to call me Lizy, so I thought, okay, LizyT, that sounds like good. So I am the host and one of the producers, because my husband and I have other people that help us out too, of the LizyT Show. We are on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we are pretty much all over social media. And yes, unfortunately, because if you are not being proactive in social media, you are not where. Doesn't matter
Uh-huh.
if you have a website or not. So yes, we have, or myself or my VA is able to update and put things there for people to get to know me. That's who I am. And my platform is able to help a lot of people, like you said early, like singers, songwriters, entrepreneurs like us, um, authors, people are writing books. This
Yeah.
shelf here is full of books from authors that I have interviewed, and they have sent me their books as a gift. And yeah, so that's who the LizyT
Awesome.
is, and that's what she does.
So, Liz, how did you, the broadcasting, the radio show, all that comes in? And I just wanted to let our audience know she was the first one, which I thought I know most of the social media, because she's the one who actually introduced me to IGTV. And she does a show on Instagram, which was like amazing, and reaching out to a whole different audience. As you know,
Mm-hmm,
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube has a different set of audience and set of people who is watching it. So
mm-hmm,
she was awesome in explaining that. So how do you
mm-hmm,
got into this broadcasting business?
mm-hmm. Good question. Very good question. You have awesome questions today, Rizwan. Guys, follow this guy. Get on his show. Well, it is started about 5 years ago, give or take. This is a dream that I had as a little girl. Close your eye, everyone, and think when you were maybe 5, 6, 7, if you're a little older, maybe 10-year-old. What do you used to play with? What did you used to love to do when you were that child? What was your dream when you were a child? Now think, you have that picture? Well, my picture, my dream was holding a microphone at that age and pretending that I was interviewing people. I used to go to my mom, my dad, people that I used to hang around with, friends, and I used to ask, how is the weather today? What do you think? People used to tell me, oh, Lizy, go away, just stop bothering me. So I was one night reading to my little girls. I have two little girls, they're a teenager now. And I was reading about little train that can. And I would explain it to them. Guys, you could do anything you want. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. Come on, follow your dreams, pursue that wonderful idea that you have, even if it doesn't work. And then I stopped. And then I realized, wait a minute, what was my dream at that age? What was I doing?
Wow,
and
breakthrough.
and it dawned to me that, hey, I wanted to be a host of my own show or be on TV. And I thought, guys, I can't read this book anymore. And I went to the bathroom and I cried. And I don't know what I cried. It's just like that dream never followed through. Life went on. I started other businesses. I started working. Things started happening and I never followed through. And that night I decided I'm going to start it, even if it doesn't work. Rizwan, can I tell you something? I
Hmm.
did it thinking that it will not work. But I wanted to tell my girls, hey, I did it. It didn't work, but at least I tried it.
Yes.
Well, biggest surprise of all, not only at work, I started getting people asking me, can you interview me? And not only in Canada, the US, and many other places in the world, which to this day, I'm pinching myself. I can't believe this is happening.
Beautiful. Folks, you can see now I am on the tough spot actually. I'm interviewing a girl who's been doing it for so long and has interviews from all over the world. Yes. But more importantly, what you said to me, it's so powerful, inspirational that
Mm,
she wanted to live her dreams and she wanted to do this. And I say this, Liz, to
mm-hmm,
myself as well. When I was transferring from my financial career, going into coaching and training, this everybody was talking to me and like, are you crazy? What is in it? Because this is very stable, what you do,
mm-hmm,
you're an MBA, you know financial market, portfolio management, and coaching and training. You don't know about it, and this is what you wanted to do. And I said, yes, I'm gonna do it. And I, even if I don't get success or don't get promoted,
mm-hmm,
don't get really a result out of it, but I'm gonna
mm-hmm.
die trying. And
There you
that's what
go.
I did. That was my mindset too.
That was your motto. And for some of you, I don't have any journalism or any that kind of background. What I do is what I did have a lot of hours into Google and a lot of hours into YouTube, and I'm going along. How do I do this? How do I figure it out? IGTV, which again, like you said, is one of the biggest platform. People are searching on Instagram now just as much as they're searching on Google. So I want to be able to have a presence there. And again, you could go to school and learn something. But the other thing is, just like you said, Rizwan, you can actually learn on your own and see if it works. Try. If it doesn't work, what is the problem? At least you tried.
Now, what fantastic. Now, folks who are listening to you, I'm going to give you a real trick behind it because this is where Liz actually find her niche and watch and listen very closely because Liz is featuring the singers, authors of some of the people from Brazil, Chile, all different places. Why? Because she can speak different languages. So while
Mm-hmm,
you're trying to compete here in Toronto, she is reaching out to the world outside. So
mm-hmm,
she did not confine herself within, and she was able to open up to new one. Now, this is a great chance for you because COVID-19 has given us that wings that we fly now, beside
mm-hmm,
are restricted to within our studio, especially if you are doing any of the shows, talk about it. So
mm-hmm.
Liz, tell us how where your guests coming from, how far your radio and your shows reach out in the world.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you mentioning radio because that's really how I started it. I started with my podcast. It's going to be almost 6 years, and then I developed into my YouTube channel, which I used to take my husband with a video camera and mics and all that to a venue or where a singer was performing. We can't do that anymore. So obviously, the last year has been, here on the internet on our home studio. So we have reached, going back to your question, over 58 countries. I love to keep tag. I'm a stat kind of person. So every time somebody reaches to me, I just don't want to know, yes, you're from Brazil, or yes, you're from Mexico, or yes, I want to make sure that, can you tell me the city? How did you find about us? How did you get in touch with them? And it's all about the word of mouth, all about, people that like my style. I'm not sure what style I have. It's just me, very genuine. The way I am here right now with you, Rizwan, I am everywhere else. As a matter of fact, a little bit more an introvert, believe it or not. In the camera, I'm able to take that persona, be able to be pumped up for you because my little platform is not for me. I can even not be here, but I want to be able to reach the audience of my guests, my artists, because they, especially right now, they need this platform. They need to be out there. So yeah, 58 countries counting. Yesterday, rather, Monday we had somebody in Germany. Like, wow.
Wow. 58 countries, folks. She's reaching out with her show, giving a platform for the people all over the world. a new hope, a new reach where you can reach out to them. Any like a success story that somebody's from Brazil is on the show and somebody from different part of the world
Mhm.
kind of like, oh, I need to see or hear this person.
There's several success stories, Rizwan, but one of the ones that I remember the most is a lady actually from here, from Canada, from Toronto, which was very shy. You know, when you have that guest on your show, you of more people know, it's like pulling teeth, trying to ask and, having them to talk about themselves, but they're very, very shy. So
Yeah.
her show was her interview with me was her very first interview. She wrote a tiny little book and she wanted to tell her story and her name. And all of a sudden, she's emailed me back and she called me back and she said it was so comfortable. And that's really what I want to make sure, that my guests feel as comfortable with me. And I always say, just pretend you're having coffee with your best friend. Pretend. And
Yeah.
then we don't know each other if you like. But at most of the time we become best friends.
Yeah.
So what happened was, I later on I was able to see this person not only publishing more books,
Uh-huh.
but also public speaking, and also becoming a publisher herself. So
Oh.
I called her up and I said, "What happened? You know what, Lizy? You gave me a platform, and by being on your show, I was able to see that I can accomplish a lot more." And I was like, "Wow, this is the reason I do this for."
Mm, powerful. That I love success stories because this is not only me, and I love the part of it. The people who wanted to start a podcast, people who wanted to make a show, people who wanted to host that. A key ingredients or golden nugget she just dropped, that you do not want to be the highlight of the show. Your guest
Mm-mm,
is, and you let them share with them. I use that, the 80-20 rule. As a host, you want to talk about 20%, 80% of your guests. But I love success stories because it's all about people, how we can make them, giving them the platform, make them successful, make them get to more who they are.
mm-hmm.
So
I didn't know about the rules, so thank you for sharing that with me, because to me it sounds like a common sense, but I guess I'd been using it without knowing. So I appreciate that. I know that is a rule about that now. Thank you.
I actually time myself. Okay, how many times I have to speak. So
Good one.
you have been able to feature guests from all different. There are some singers on your radio show. It's all about singers and authors or
Not
anybody else.
necessarily. No, not necessarily. So singers, yes, I would say it's 50% of our shows.
Mhm.
And then we do half an hour, give or take, because I don't count. Sometimes a little go over and a little bit less. It depends again on the guest, right? They're not, some artists are very shy to speak. They love to sing. So I do that part. And then the other half an hour is just music. And I get sent MP3 from all over the world, different cultures, different genre, and I play pretty much everything. And then obviously we have the regular, which is their author. I would say it's another 30% authors, people that are publishing their book. They need a platform to divulge their book and to talk about it and to sell where people can buy it. And then we have some entrepreneurs and we have coaches, and that's pretty much the repertoire. Inventors, I've gotten some invent people that invented something very amazing. They wanted to be on the show as well, but and I think last but not least, actress that are looking
Oh.
to get some work. Child actress, I've had some of them. So yeah.
That's interesting. Actors as well. I never thought of that, even in mentors, because they really do need that platform in order to move forward. Because I really want to highlight some of those people who doesn't get the limelight out there because they have to create their own instead of bigger companies, bigger blue chip companies. They can buy all that TV
Mhm,
ad and all that. So
mhm.
small entrepreneurs don't get that real limelight. So,
And me and you, Rizwan, we are that platform for them to rehearse, for them to be better at video, for them to be presentable in a way that they can sell themselves. So absolutely, I wish I could have more actors so they can kind of, plan with us what they will be doing later on. I had a child actor about last month, incredible lady, very talented, but as an interviewer, as a person that has the platform for them to act, I expected a little more. And so again, that training comes, and they're able to perform, say the lines that they need to say when they're in the real real thing.
Hmm. Now, you already mentioned a couple of stories of your guests, people coming in and they were able to have an awakening. But let me ask you, and this would be a serious question. As a host, when you are listening to a story, you're listening to
Mhm.
a live fact of somebody or a record breaking tune, did that
Mm.
really impact you that you like, holy, that
Mhm.
is like so good?
Mhm.
Has that happened to
There's
you?
absolutely, there's amazing voices out there. The lady that I had from Germany, she is a singer-songwriter. She is disabled.
Oh.
She is in a wheelchair,
Hmm.
not able to walk or even move her arms properly. But my goodness, her voice is just out of this world. It's just, I've never heard anything like that. It's very different and very, very interesting. So she's been recording all over Europe, and obviously she wants to branch out to North America, Canada, and the US. And she found my platform for her to talk about her song. We interviewed her on our YouTube channel and also on our radio. She wanted both, and I'm playing her song. And usually what I do is 3 months I play the songs of my artist, and then I rotate and get more songs. So it's about, again, half an hour worth of music. So what is a radio show with a radio station without music, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's true. So, Liz, this is very exciting, and the folks who are listening to us right now want to know you, get to know you, get to connected with you. How do they can reach out to you?
You know that website that's called Google? Lizzy
My uncle
T
Google.
dot LizyT.com, LizyT.com, and you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Vimeo, uh, Pinterest, and I'm pretty much all over social
Everywhere.
media. So absolutely, that is the best way. You can look at my pictures, my past interviews, my videos, and yeah, I'm hoping that you that are watching today come and join us. Come and join both of us.
Yes. So, is this something that you wanted to take to the next thing? Like, what is your vision about the show that can reach more audience, give more
Good,
platform, or
good question.
something different?
Good question, Rizwan. Isn't he good? It's amazing. So I have been offered to be on Rogers Cable TV, and you know
Oh,
what it is? I love control. I'm a little bit of a control freak. So
okay.
I like to have control of what I do, when I do it, with whom I do it, and what questions I would like to ask.
Uh-huh.
So I like to have to keep my platform. I mean, I'm not saying that this is no forever and I don't want to be on national TV. Things could change. But as of right now, I find that the comfort of my home studio, or even another studio where I can have control, what my team can have control, that's definitely what I would like to continue to do. And obviously, I people, if you search on Google best podcast or best TV interview and Lizzy comes out, hey, I'm done. That's what I wanted to do.
Awesome, awesome. See, that vision is important, and she has that
Hmm.
vision, and I love that her last vision that you search the best podcast, best interview style, and she shows up. That's a success right there. This is fantastic. If you want to
Almost there.
search her, go ahead.
I said I'm almost there.
I know you are there. If you want to get a hold of her because you really want to reach 58 countries and people from all around the world, if you have that song, that book, that authorship, that new invention, or even you wanted to be an actor or actress and reaching a different medium and stepping yourself, give her that call
Mhm.
Lizy, LizyT show.com. No, LizyT.com.
LizyWhite.com,
All right.
LizyT.com. So I think he will have it underneath here,
Yes, I'm
and
going to have this on the screen right
for
here.
you to be able to reach us at no worries.
Yeah, so you will be able to. I mean, you just Google her name and you will be seeing her all over the place. Thank you so much, Lizy. But before we end the show, I wanted to ask you. I know you have like inspirational stories. You gave us
Mm,
like a lot of to think about it, the thought-provoking ideas. Okay, what I can do, what is limiting belief to me? I'm an immigrant. I couldn't speak English. What do I do? I mean, you
mhm,
break all those rules and came out as a successful entrepreneur. So,
mhm,
what you gonna leave with us? An inspirational message for all of the
mhm.
immigrants out there who are looking to from thrive, going to
Mm,
thrive because they are just trying to survive at this time.
absolutely. And I think we talked about this before, Rizwan. One of the things that I love to do is to be able to connect with one key person.
Hmm.
There's always a mentor, a person that you look up to. It doesn't have to be your friend. I mean, when you're networking, obviously it's a lot easier. You feel, right, God give you that feeling of that person can help me, or I can learn from that person. So you don't have to be friends with the whole world. And I know that not everybody likes Lizy, and Lizy doesn't like everyone. So that's a given. Let's put that on the table. So,
Yeah.
and which is okay. I'm sure it's okay. But connect with one person that you admire, follow them, ask them question. I can guarantee to you that a lot of people will love to help you in any shape or form. If you ask question, I have a question, can you help me? And people will be, I'm here. You can call me and you can email me. I can help you in any shape. If I don't know the answer, I will definitely find out. So going back to that question, one key person. I mean, through our connection, right, Rizwan, we're able to connect. There was one person that I connected with, led me to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be friends of the whole world. Just connect with one special person that can help you to go to the next level.
Wow, golden advice from Lizy T. Lizy, thank you so much for gracing your presence at London Living Show, and I love to have you and a great inspirational message
Oh,
and a great story of you being an entrepreneur. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Folks, this was the show London Living with Rizwan, and tonight we saw how Lizy has transformed herself, changed her ability to understand what is the Canadian culture arts, understand or learn the new languages, and but not more importantly, she was able from surviving to thrive by her ability to be able to depend on. And the last thing what she mentioned, it was so golden, because most often as an entrepreneurs as well as immigrant, we stuck to that of our mindset what we have in the hometown that we don't want to change. But here it is, if you wanted to keep trying, yeah, you still may be able to succeed, but it's gonna pass so much time. But here's the golden key she has given to you: find a mentor,
Mhm.
find a coach that going to just wipe out all those years of you trying, but just giving you or showing you a path that you will be able to get to your point really fast, because you have came that far from thousands of miles over here. You need to go far in your career, personal and professional. In order to do so, you really need to fly. I mean, if I was trying to walk from Pakistan to Canada, I would have, left my whole life there. But I took a plane. Same thing. You do not want to keep trying in order to get something. find somebody who's going to fly you to your destination quick. And that was a golden key from Liz. Thank you for watching London Living with Rizwan, coming on Canada One TV, sharing with you the life of immigrants who are making the difference in their lives and lives of many. Thank you so much. Have a good night.